Okay, good morning, everybody. We're here at Milton Keynes at Ian Crane's AV10 event with Mark, who's going to be speaking on Monday about 5G and the latest on 5G. And can you tell us about what's going on Thursday, Mark?
What's going on Thursday? I'm back in court, Newcastle. That's Moot Hall. It's next to the Castle Keep. It's an old court building that's going to be sold off. Obviously, the dismantling of the British judicial system. This is really important. So people have to remember, they're trying to dismantle the democratic system. They're trying to dismantle the legal system. Obviously, they haven't dismantled the legal system as yet. But make no mistake about it, that is the plan. Plan's pretty straightforward. We're heading into very, very dangerous times. They were talking about fascism here. We're talking about fascism coming through the back door, whether it be Extinction Rebellion, the fascist smart city, smart agenda, kill grid, because that's basically what smart is, secret militarized armaments and residential technology. Make no mistake about it, we have to resist this criminal enterprise where we're democracy, we're freedom of speech. I'm up in court for speaking it up to authority because I brought it to their attention that the illegal unlawful rollout of 5G in Gateshead was in fact that. In the first trial where the recorder Nolan QC, he read my scientific evidence, my technical expertise in that field, and also the evidence that was put before him in my skeleton argument showed that the council had acted illegally and unlawfully. He then stated in that court that he directed the council in the court, they must discuss and debate the risks of 5G. Since then, nothing. So I then wrote to the council, I wrote an email to all councillors telling them what had happened in the court, because obviously we'd heard tales where there was one councillor in particular who basically did a live stream afterwards where he was very dishonest about what had happened in the court. So there was other information that we heard councillors hadn't been given the truth about what had happened. However, it was in the mainstream media. In the Chronicle stated quite clearly that the recorder Nolan QC had stated that the 5G risk must be debated. Now, I didn't get a reply to over 60 emails I sent to each councillor telling them their duty in relation to the law. They have said that's me being abusive, a total fabrication. This council's using the law in a disingenuous way to try and gag me. They couldn't gag us in the first case. So now what they've done, they've requested to go back to another judge. They've requested the first judge. They've actually demanded to the courts that the first judge not have anything to do with this particular case anymore, which is in itself is quite astonishing. And then also they also wouldn't allow the chief executive. This is the chief executive who the strategic director. The strategic director who's a director in businesses associated directly with 5G and Chinese technology companies. So the strategic director, we called them as a witness. They wouldn't allow him to come to the court so we could actually question what the rationale was, and also to find out about the business plan, because the council were pretty upset about me making a video about 5G and how the council profits from that. Well, obviously, the council have their own funeral business. That funeral business, I'm absolutely sure, will be running at a profit. Why did they open up a funeral business? Why have we seen significant increases in death in Gateshead since the rollout of the 5G? These are the questions that I'll be putting to, my barrister will be putting to me in the dock on Thursday. This is historic. We're going to find out what's really going on and if the British judicial system is as robust as it should be, and hold these authorities to account and hold them to the rule of law. The law has been broken. I showed that in the first case. The recorder Nolan QC could see that, and he directed the council in that case to discuss the risks of 5G. They have since denied they have 5G. They're panicking to say that they haven't got 5G. In fact, they couldn't even get any counsellors. They've got one counsellor to stand up and say that he's felt abused by the email I sent him. Only one would actually stand up and support them. And this is the character who made the live stream. He's made lots of live streams, basically made a number of live streams stating that there's not 5G in Gateshead, this is only 2G. This is a character, right, who wouldn't know 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, has no technical capacity, is absolutely unbelievable, and has actually made statements in the court and in the first court case which were absolutely dishonest. A total dishonest character that they've had to pull out again, right? He actually blew up in the court case that we were at, and John was there, where we saw him blow up and say absolutely the way he was boiling because the judge in the first case had actually made that ruling in direction to the council, and he said he's got no right to tell us. I'm an elected official. I'm an elected official. Absolutely arrogance, and basically fascists. These are fascists who are basically destroying democracy, the rule of law, and don't care about the rule of law. Well, I do. And the British judicial system, we'll see what happens on Thursday. But what we need everybody to be there. This is massive. This is the biggest trial. This is absolutely unbelievable. We need the mainstream media there. If anybody knows people, get in contact. Alternative media is going to have to be there, and as many as possible, to show that the mainstream media have basically just lost the plot. This is the first 5G committal trial to prison. They're trying to send me to prison for speaking out, for actually pointing them in relation to the law. There's been no abuse. The whole thing is a complete and utter fabrication.
Yep. And last week we saw the first half of it. So this time Mark will be cross-examined, and that's all there is to basically do. So it will finish on that day. And the more people we have there, the more important it is to get as many people as possible to this court case. So please share this with your friends, get the word out. Like Mark said, if you know anyone who's in alternative media or in the mainstream, if anyone can contact the papers, the national papers, the Chronicle in Newcastle, pressure them, say, hey guys, look, we need you to cover this. This is extremely important. Reach out to the journalists, and please, if you can come to Newcastle, we've got a really big court there, so there are lots and lots of places for people to seat, and it will make a massive difference because we really need more representation for this one coming up on Thursday. It's extremely important, so please come along. And can you give us the full address, Mark, for the court?
The court, once again, it's Moot Hall. It's next to Castle Keep, so everybody knows the castle. It's the Castle Keep. It's right next to there. There's parking, so people can get there. But what I'm going to say, this is the test bed. Gateshead Council is the fascist takedown of democracy test bed. And this is how, when I sent over 60 councillors an email to show what had happened in the court case, not one reply. This is what's happened to your democracy by the back door. They've stolen it. And we're going to lay it bare how these people are actually in breach of the law. They're in breach of every law that was ever written down, whether it be parliamentary laws, constitutional laws. They are actually in breach of all of them. The 5G is absolutely lethal. It is a weapon system. That's all it is. It is not a telecommunication system. Gateshead Council's denial that they have 5G, it was shown in the first court case. They didn't even know what they had. That technical guy didn't have a clue.
And Barry's backed you up, hasn't he, Mark? That
absolutely.
It's a weapon. So
it's a full weapon system.
Barry Trower.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that might sound unbelievable, but believers, this is all over the country. This is Great Britain. Great Britain didn't get great by having a load of people sitting back and just doing as they're told and not standing up to this tyranny. This is a tyrannical local authority using the law unlawfully to try and gag me. They didn't get the gag in the first instance because we had a judge who could see through the nonsense, the fabrication, the forgery. They actually entered forged documents into the court. The chief executive actually perjured herself under oath, where she said, "I went to attack her in the council chamber." Fortunately, we had a video recording of that meeting. was no attack. I didn't go for them. I did tell her when this comes out, she's going to prison. She didn't like that. And the same mayor, she said exactly the same, that had statements made. And I believe that the legal team at Gateshead Council who've orchestrated this, they've orchestrated these false statements to be added into the court case in the first instance, where the judge soon realised that the whole thing was a complete and utter fabrication.
Yeah, it's astonishing the lies that they're actually telling in court. I was at Mark's initial hearing with Judge Nolan and then the appeal hearing, and they just don't seem to have any shame. And, you know, in the quiz by the barrister, just backtracking on their statements, almost making it up as they go along. It's just a complete joke. And this is why we need representation on Thursday, folks. So Thursday, the 16th of May, 10 a.m., Moot Hall. Just look it up in Google, Moot Hall Court in Newcastle. And please come along and support Mark, because not just your future, but our future, everyone's future depends on this. Because if they roll out this 5G, there's going to be nowhere to hide. And they're rolling it out in every country. They're rolling it out onto the cars, onto the street lamps, absolutely everywhere. There's going to be nowhere to hide. So, you know, let's support Mark and let's show that we care about stopping 5G. Thanks. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks, John.
Right. Great. Okay. Sweet. That was a good one.
He said I was in the private